Gentlemen, I salute you.
Dennis Quaid gained fame after his role in the coming-of-age drama, Breaking Away. By the early 80s, he had become one of Hollywood's most promising stars. He played roles such as astronauts, pilots, and adventurers in high-budget films like The Right Stuff, Enemy Mine, and Inner Space. His heroic look and rugged mannerisms led to comparisons with Harrison Ford. Although the comparison was fitting, there was one significant difference. Quaid did not bring in the big bucks for studios like Ford did. For instance, Quaid's famous sci-fi film Inner Space, where he miniaturized and traveled inside a department store clerk's body, cost $27 million but didn't recoup its cost domestically. In contrast, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, which cost almost the same, made 6 times its original budget. Commercial unprofitability was one issue, but Quaid also displayed eccentric and sometimes erratic behavior. From the early 80s, he heavily abused substances and was known to have tried to start a fight with an extra on the set of Jaws 3D. Before signing the contract for Great Balls of Fire, Quaid insisted that he would only take the role if his rock band was signed for an album release, a bizarre demand by industry standards. For all his Hollywood decade, Quaid consumed about 2 grams a day, so it was not surprising that he began to worry about his health by the early 90s. The realization that he would die in 5 years if he didn't quit was the turning point in his substance abuse. His fiancée, actress Meg Ryan, also supported his decision to go to rehab. When Quaid returned from rehab, he tried to resume his Hollywood career, but nothing significant came out of it. One of his epic failures in the early 90s was the western Wyatt Earp. For this role, Quaid lost 40 pounds and developed anorexia, but his efforts were in vain. Half a year before the premiere, competitors Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer released Tombstone, featuring the same characters, which left no chance for Wyatt Earp. Quaid also couldn't hit it big with the Hollywood films Dragonheart and Switchback. In Switchback, his performance was unexpectedly overshadowed by former shooting instructor R. Lee Ermey, whose acting was considered more interesting and natural than Quaid's. As critics wrote, to play the role, Quaid has thrown a blanket over his usual roguish twinkle and adopted a hush-mannered pose that suggests that he was instructed to imitate Harrison Ford's dour paranoid style. With his easygoing sensuality reined in, Quaid is about as flexible as a stick. While the actor was losing ground, his wife Meg Ryan was rapidly ascending. Her roles in hit films such as When Harry Met Sally and Sleepless in Seattle earned her the title of America's Sweetheart, and her fee skyrocketed to an astronomical $15 million. Quaid could not overlook these changes. When he met Meg in the 80s, he was considered the top man. But now, when he went out with her, he noticed that people were paying attention to her, not him. The climax came in 2000. Ryan went to Ecuador to film the action movie Proof of Life. Her co-star was then popular Russell Crowe. In the movie, Meg played a woman whose husband is kidnapped, and a special forces operative played by Crowe comes to her aid. According to the plot, they both fell in love with each other, but for moral reasons they did not cross the line. In real life, these collisions partly repeated themselves, with the difference that the line was crossed and soon Ryan and Crowe were seen together. When the tabloids published compromising photos, Quaid, who was home with their young son, filed for divorce. The media vigorously discussed Meg's infidelity, and Dennis was portrayed as the victim of treachery. One day, a phone call rang at his home. It was the US President Bill Clinton. He called from aboard an airliner. The year before, Quaid had spent a weekend at the White House where he played golf with Clinton, but he was still surprised as to where the commander-in-chief got his number. According to Dennis, Bill just wanted to say that he was concerned about him. Changes can be beneficial, and this was the case with Quaid. Back in '98, after a series of failures, the actor was forced to change his strategy, and instead of Hollywood films, starred in the independent drama Savior. The project was produced by Oliver Stone. There's a theory that Stone became the great cardinal of Savior and raised the film to a high artistic and dramatic level, and that the contribution of Serbian director Predrag Antoniovic, who later made a mark with the B-grade movie Hard Cash, was minimal. Either way, the role of the repentant legionnaire brought Quaid closer to the cinematic elite. Critics praised his deep acting, and Stone invited the actor to the sports drama Any Given Sunday, after which another talented director, Steven Soderbergh, invited Dennis to the social thriller Traffic. The actor's quotes rose again, and studios started inviting him to high-budget films. Notable Hollywood projects in Quaid's career at the time were Frequency and The Day After Tomorrow. It is believed that Frequency tried to repeat the success of The Sixth Sense. In both films, the story was about gates to the beyond, the difference being that in The Sixth Sense, the boy saw the dead, and in Frequency, the police officer heard the voice of his deceased father. If so, then it failed to repeat the commercial success of the thriller with Bruce Willis. With a budget of $30 million, Frequency grossed $45 million domestically. Nonetheless, critics praised Quaid's acting, and among connoisseurs of soulful cinema, the film achieved a high status. With the disaster movie The Day After Tomorrow, the situation was reversed. Nearly everyone ridiculed the film for its abundance of blunders and illogicalities, but audiences flocked to the theaters and bought tickets in droves. As a result, The Day After Tomorrow, which vividly illustrated the dangers of global climate change, achieved global success and became one of the biggest hits in Quaid's career. Around the same time, the actor got married again. His chosen one was real estate agent Kimberly Buffington, with whom he had 2 children. Interestingly, his ex-wife Meg Ryan hit a rough patch. Her relationship with Crowe came to nothing, and her career sharply declined. American society could not forgive the actress's infidelity, as they identified Meg with her sweet heroines. If before the scandal, Ryan's melodramas enjoyed immense success, then Proof of Life flopped. The movie Kate and Leopold that followed didn't make money either. Seemingly wishing to further infuriate the public, Meg starred in the explicit and provocative film In the Cut, and it too failed. 6 years after the start of the scandal, the actress stated on Oprah's show and in other interviews that the public had labeled her a Scarlet Woman. But this was unfair, as Quaid had also cheated on her, and their marriage had run its course before she met Crowe. Dennis denied these claims in response. The actor himself continued to gain momentum. Once upon a time, he wanted to be a Hollywood star like Harrison Ford and starred predominantly in high-budget movies. Astronauts, pilots, athletes. Now, Dennis had left behind the ambitions of previous years, thought less about his image and fees, and started to act where he found interest. As a result, his portfolio diversified with the unexpected role of a gay man in the historical drama Far From Heaven, for which he was nominated for a Golden Globe for the first time. A few years later, Quaid received a second nomination, having transformed into his golf partner and consular Clinton. The transformation took place in the movie The Special Relationship. Dennis dyed his eyebrows and hair silver and watched tens of hours of footage to learn to imitate the president's manner of speech, his gait, and characteristic gestures like a finger wag. In addition to these critically acclaimed works, Quaid in the 2000s and 2010s also starred in a multitude of action movies, thrillers, and horror films, and in some managed to be on both sides of the barricades. For instance, in the thriller Cold Creek Manor, Dennis played a victim haunted by the house's former owner, while in The Intruder, he portrayed a villain disrupting family harmony, and did so brilliantly that he easily overshadowed the film's main stars. Quaid also appeared in family films. For example, back in '98, the actor played the lead role in the movie The Parent Trap, and a few years later, he portrayed an aging pitcher challenging fate in Disney's sports drama The Rookie. However, the actor's major success was the fantasy drama A Dog's Purpose. The film was directed by Lasse Hallström, known for the hit movie Hachi, A Dog's Tale. With Quaid, a self-proclaimed avid dog lover, the result couldn't be bad. With a modest budget, A Dog's Purpose grossed $200 million at the global box office, giving the actor another surge in popularity. The producers released a sequel, and Quaid himself focused on family films. He starred in the movie Blue Miracle, where he played a fisherman who helps orphans catch a prized marlin, and also appeared in the film The Tiger Rising. The actor began to work frequently with animals and appear in beautiful preserved locations. For example, he played the leading role in the series Fortitude, which was shot in Iceland. "I just love that place. It's like Hawaii in the Arctic," Quaid said. Quaid's romantic life is also full of bright moments. In recent years, the actor has frequently made it onto various lists of the most attractive men. While such ratings are typically taken with a degree of irony, in Quaid's case, the title is well-deserved. Although, in 2016, Dennis announced his divorce from his third wife. He immediately began dating model Santa Azina, which did not escape the notice of the paparazzi, who frequently photographed the couple together, noting how much fun they were having. The actor then replaced the 32-year-old model with young student Laura Sauvier. Quaid insists that their relationship developed naturally, leading to their wedding in Santa Barbara. The media, however, have had mixed reactions to the union. Some have condemned it, while others have noted that the 65-year-old Quaid looks robust and masculine next to his 26-year-old bride. As for the actor himself, he doesn't pay attention to prejudices. He simply doesn't have time for it. His career is on the rise, and instead of being an unsuccessful Harrison Ford lookalike and Meg Ryan's husband, he's now a successful and established Dennis Quaid. With a filming schedule booked years in advance, the actor's personal life has also peaked. As Dennis says, he now feels more vigor than he had in his wild youth. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.